Today, we're gonna make some beef jerky. Did you know that every day in America, more beef jerky is consumed than gallons of gas? Oh, not really, that's not true. But man, it's a boatload of beef jerky that gets eaten every day in the United States. Can you imagine going on a car trip and not going to that gas station and grabbing a bag of beef jerky? I know I do it, I'm sure you do too. The problem is, it's so expensive. To buy a small bag of beef jerky is ridiculously priced. So we found out a way to make it at home in our smoker, inexpensively, and absolutely gonna blow anything away that comes in those little plastic bags in the gas station. So let's get started and let me show you how to do it. All right, the first thing you can do when you're getting your meat is you can ask your butcher if he can slice it for you. You want it sliced anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch thick. Any thicker than that, you're gonna have really chewy beef jerky. It's not gonna be great. I've also heard two different schools of thought. Do you want it sliced with the grain or against the grain? There are literally thousands upon thousands of different recipes to make beef jerky, and you can do any of them and they're all gonna be pretty good. This is the one that I like to use. I think it has a great flavor. It's not overpowering, but it's nice and simple and uses some basic products that you probably have in your house already. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use 1 cup packed of dark brown sugar. Okay, that's 1 cup packed, important. Next is 1 cup of soy sauce. We've got 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Honestly, I like to add about 5. I like that Worcestershire flavor. I think it really kicks it up, so we're gonna use 5. 1 tablespoon smoked paprika. 1 teaspoon of unseasoned meat tenderizer. Now, mine here is seasoned. I could not find unseasoned meat tenderizer. You have 1 teaspoon freshly ground black pepper, always freshly ground. 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes. 1 teaspoon onion powder. And 1 teaspoon garlic powder. Now for our next step, you could use a marinating container. You like to use a plastic bag. It makes life nice and simple. So to make this easier for yourself, cuff it down a couple times, as such. This way it kind of stays open better, and you got something nice and easy to work with there. How's that? Now again, when you're making beef jerky, you can do all sorts of different things with the meat. You can cut it into strips. What I like to do, I like to cut it into slices about that size. Okay, just about the size of the palm of my hand, and drop it right in the bag. Now I'm using about 1.5 pounds of meat here. The marinade that we made will actually go up to about 3 pounds of meat. So you can go up to about 3 pounds with that amount of marinade that we made. This is the fun part. Just keep smooching it around as much as you can. This way you get everything covered. You want every single speck of meat covered with that beautiful, tasty marinade. And now we're gonna put this in the refrigerator for a minimum of 12 hours. I go 24, sometimes I go even a little bit longer, but 12 to 24 hours is probably your ideal amount of time to let that flavor all soak into that meat. So, to the refrigerator! Now, in order to get that nice smoky flavor we want on our beef jerky, we're gonna cook it at a low temperature. I like to keep it right at about 180 degrees, plus or minus a couple degrees. Minus is better, too much warmer than that, now you're starting to cook. We're just trying to dry this out. We're trying to dehydrate it using smoke and a low heat. So we do wanna add some smoke, so I'm gonna add some barrel-proof bourbon barrel chunks. These things are made from bourbon barrels. They give a really super sweet flavor. It's gonna add nicely to the flavor of the beef jerky. So we've got this started now here, and we've just got a small pile of charcoal in there burning. We're gonna put about 6 or 8 blocks on there because I want some good heavy smoke right in the very beginning. So once this comes up in temperature, and here's a tip on this. For 180 degrees, don't get this rip-roaring fire going. It's easier to bring the temperature up than it is to bring it back down, okay? So you wanna catch this on the way up, so when we get to like 150, start shutting those vents down. We wanna keep it nice and easy and no big fire with this. This is not a cook, it's a drying session. Oh, something different, whoa. One important step that we almost missed while making beef jerky is to dry it off first, okay? We're trying to dry it, so if you start with super wet meat, it's just gonna take that much longer and it's gonna be a pain. So, lay out some paper towels and just take your jerky meat. There we go. Now, for the mixture. I'm kidding, don't ever use this. This has had raw meat sitting in it. It's no good for anything. Throw it out. If you want to start again, start a whole new batch. Just get rid of this stuff and start new. So I'm going to dispose of this properly. Let's talk about our cooking setup for a minute here. We're gonna cook this indirect. Indirect means no direct heat coming up from underneath. So we have our expander system here. I got 2 half moons in there. You can use your convector, whatever deflector you have, use it because we don't want direct heat. Now, the other thing I'm using this raised grid here. The way I like to do this, I like to hang my beef jerky. So I could probably do this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take skewers, take each piece of meat, skewer it at the top, as such. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it on here and just lay each one down in between the grate, just like that. So let's get our skewers loaded up. All right, a couple of things to go over. Yes, we're gonna cook at about 180 degrees. That's like, to me, that's the perfect drying temperature for beef jerky. Next thing, Ron, you're crazy. You dried all of the seasonings off of the meat. No, I didn't. We marinated that meat. And the flavors are soaked in through that thin little piece of meat. Trust me, there's gonna be tons of flavor. As a matter of fact, even though we dried it off, you can still see red pepper flakes. You can still see some of the grains from the seasonings and stuff that we put in there still on the meat. So it's gonna be tons of flavor. It's gonna take a while here. This is not a 1 hour process, okay? Usually about 3 to 4 hours, something like that. But by the time it's done, it's gonna be one of the tastiest treats that you will ever have. Beef jerky is healthy, it's good for you, it's packed with protein, it's nothing but protein, so there's a lot of advantages to eating beef jerky. So I'm excited for this. I love to make it on my smoker. I've made it in dehydrator before, but making it on the egg and making it on a smoker is a whole other level of flavor. No liquid smoke here. All right, all right, all right. Look at that. Beef jerky is ready. You wanna know a good way you can tell when it's ready? When you take your skewer and you pull it up back through the grates and your beef jerky stands up on its own, that's the first sign that it's done. As a good test, you should be able to bend your jerky and not have it crack. So we can bend this pretty good and it's not cracking. But you still want it to have a little jerk to it, so it should have some pull. All right, it's got a little pull. It's beef jerky. You want it to have a little bit of jerk to it still. Now, do you see that inside there? You can still see all the meat texture and the meat color. You want that. You don't want it to be completely dried out. Just because the jerky just came off the grill doesn't mean it's done. We have one more step to go. That's right, tasting it. There is nothing wrong with that, jerky. Anyway, listen, no road trip will ever be the same because I'm gonna load up on this stuff before I go anywhere. I know I don't have to go spend $7 for a little tiny bag of stuff that's gone in a half hour. This is a great way to do it. Inexpensive, fantastic. You know it's fresh, you know it's got great ingredients, and you're gonna love the flavor. It's got a beautiful smokiness to it. It's really good. Listen, if you missed anything in this video, okay, there's a link below for the recipe and the blog. Check it out. It's got from beginning to end how to make this jerky. Also, if you liked any of the products or have any interest in any of the products that I used in this video, there's also links down below, okay? You can find everything you need in the description. But I want you to do me a favor. Right now, if you liked what you saw here, you wanna try beef jerky, give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to our channel, give us a comment. Please leave a comment. I'm begging you, just tell me what you think of jerky. What's your favorite jerky? And do you think that this could be better than yours? Ooh, that's a good question. Anyway, this is fantastic. It's an easy one. It's not, you don't require a lot of charcoal. It's a cheap, easy cook, and it is delicious. So remember to tune in, remember to get out and grill, and I will see you the next time on the FOGO Life.